Welcome. Welcome to the Saturday. Oh no, welcome to the Saturday morning ritual. Oh my gosh, welcome to this week's episode. We are set the tone for a week. We're going to set the tone for a week with intentional reflection. We're going to do some growth and, of course, a little movement, a whole lot of adventure, all about having a good time and having fun. And this week is a do-over because last week I wanted to talk about this subject and I just wasn't quite ready to talk about it. So here we are. Hello and welcome. So glad to have you here. So this week, of course, we were joined by Miss Kitty Cat, who is going to get fur all over me. I'm just so excited. Anyway, we're diving into the incredible insights from this book, Allison Fallon's book. It's The Power of Writing It Down. That's what we're talking about today. So if you've ever wondered about how I talk about it all the time, putting pen to paper can change your life, then this is where you want to be. So grab a journal, grab a coffee, grab your animals, whatever sparks your joy, and let's get into it. But first, hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. This is a great place where we can, support one another, a great community where we can influence one another to just be the best us that we can possibly be. It's a place where we can learn and just share and grow and all the things, whatever it is, this is the place for that. And it's a Saturday morning ritual. It's the way we start our Saturday, and I love it. Saturday morning with Patty Cat. Okay, first up, we have to do our first ritual, brain body connection. We got to get our mouths moving, apparently, because I just don't have it with me today. We got to get our bodies moving because our bodies and our minds are connected. And whenever she just so distracts me. The body's in motion, our minds are in motion too, is at least my thought on the whole thing. So we're going to get up, we're going to move around for just a minute. It's not very long. Join me, do what I do, don't do what I do something else, do whatever you want to do, go do dishes. I don't know. Get up and move. That's the whole point. Get out of your bed. I know it's cold outside. Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it, Penny? It's cold outside, right? Did you hear her? Anyway, we need to get up and move. So let's go. Let's do it. Let's do the brain body connection.
I'm saying let's go.
You gotta get up and move. You gotta dance.
You're saying maybe let's find a disco. You're stuck at home being so lazy. Hey. Give me some energy. Wanna come dance with me. Give me some energy. Wanna come dance with me. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. I can see you buzzing like you can't say no. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body.
Oh no, so now my camera's all messed up because I just moved it because I didn't realize that my chair was in the way. Yeah, we gotta fix. Let's just move my chair. Move my chair with the cat that's been sitting on it. So anyway, how are you? Did you get up and move your body? Did you do it? Okay, before we get started, before I pollute your brain, all the things. So I actually did it this week. I'm so proud of myself. On my website, adventuresofdeanna.com, I have a journal sheet for every day with the journal prompts that we're going to be doing today. We are actually going to take journaling breaks because it would be really ridiculous to talk about journaling and not do the part of the ritual, which is journaling, which we're supposed to do every week, but sometimes we don't do it because, I don't know, I do what I want. Do you do what you want? I do what I want. Anyway, that's the joy of being here on YouTube with the Saturday Morning Ritual is there's no rules and I can do what I want and I like it. Anyway, on my website, adventuresofdeanna.com, you can go to Saturday Morning Ritual. You can go to episode 50. Did you guys know? It's episode 50 episodes of the Saturday Morning Ritual. So I've been doing so many live streams, and this is episode 50 of the Saturday Morning Ritual. That doesn't even count the episodes of the ABCs of weight loss, which was my live stream that I did before I switched to the Saturday Morning Ritual. But this is actually episode 50. I keep track. Well, I try to keep track. Sometimes I get it wrong, but I'm pretty sure that this is episode 50 of the Saturday Morning Ritual. And if that doesn't, that's not reason for celebration. I don't know what is. That is huge to be. It shows that I can be consistent with something. It doesn't mean that I did it every single week. It doesn't mean that they're all consecutive episodes, but I have been consistent with hosting, with showing up for the Saturday Morning Ritual for 50 episodes. 50. That's crazy to me. Anyway, I think it's so cool. Thank you, Misty. I think it is so cool. Okay. On my website, Adventures with Deanna, there's the journal sheet. It's going to have our questions, their prompts today for our journaling exercise. And our first one is, what is our first one? It is something about journaling. I'm sure of it. Where's my first question? Where's my journal? Where's my thing? We got to do. Okay. I was doing so good. I was doing amazing. This was going to be awesome. Penny, I blame you. It's your fault. Your fault. When was the last time you sat down and wrote in a journal? Was it a happy moment or a sad moment, or were you feeling something else? So we're going to take a break. We're going to be you, me, everybody. Let's all just write down, when was the last time you sat down and wrote in a journal? And was it a happy moment or a sad moment? Or were you feeling something else? And I'll be just right back. So let's go do that right now. Here we go again. Ba, 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 ba.
Keep you down. I'm taking matters into my own hands now. Let's face it, we only got this life to live out. So follow me, I'm ready to go. I'll take the lead, I'm ready to go.
What? She's a fussy little thing, isn't she? She's fussy. She is fussy. So you don't remember the last time you wrote anything down. You did not get a 2024 journal. So journaling doesn't have to be in a fancy 2024 or a fancy 2025. No, you bit me. Yeah? What? Why? Why? Why you gonna bite? Why? Why? She does not like being held. Okay, so it's always interesting to me that I find that most of the time whenever I want to write something down in a journal, it's normally about sadness. It's normally whenever things aren't going my way, or I'm frustrated with something, or sad about something or whatever. And I find that's really interesting. And since I've started my journaling, I see that I'm starting to record more and more about the happy times and the happy moments, so that journaling isn't always like just a sad thing. It's more of a happy thing. And I do like that evolution of my journaling, because who wants to pick up a journal and like look at all the sad things that I write them all down? Why am I not throwing them out? Like, oh God, that would just be terrible. Look at this person's poor life, you know? That's not a way that I want to be remembered in life. So I like to write down the happy moments. I like to write down the happy moments now. So journaling. We're going to talk about 7 benefits of journaling, all from this book about journaling today. But before we get there, we get to celebrate, and I pre-celebrated. So if you're just joining us, this is episode 50. Episode 50 of the Saturday Morning Ritual. We've made it 50 episodes into the show. With Penny has not always attended every single one. Sometimes I have to lock her out of the room. But episode 50, that is something to celebrate. What are you celebrating? What are you celebrating this week? When you look at your past week, how did it go? I like to think that in every single past 7 days, every week, there's something in that week that we can celebrate. Even if you thought that, you totally lost sight of all of your goals, you didn't think about any of your goals at all, period, not at all. There's still something that you did that was a success. There's still, I like to kind of just use it as a method of boosting my self-esteem. Just, yeah, I'm awesome because of this. And it just kind of reinforces that good thing was something that you want to repeat. It's, just something you want to do over and over. Kind of like this episode. This is a do-over episode, because last week we did talk about writing things down, but it was more in a food journal versus a journal. So, and doesn't matter. Get the workout because you knew your body was too tired, but you took a walk. So you still moved, and that's excellent. Sometimes our bodies just aren't ready for the intensity that we want to go, but it doesn't mean we have to not do anything. Something is better than nothing, right? I'm proud of you. She does. She wants to. She left. I think Loki chased her out. I don't know. Maybe they went downstairs and made me some breakfast. One can only hope, right? But it never happens. It never happens. Why do they do that? So, taking a look at my past week. Well, I didn't let last week's episode where I wanted to talk about a certain topic and wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be. I didn't let that stop me from having a live stream. That's a success. Even though I wasn't prepared, it didn't mean that I didn't want to continue with my goals. So I still showed up. So that was a positive. Very positive. I think my step count, my app was telling me that my step count's been up this past week. So that was a good thing. Let's see. I got my husband out of the house for an hour. That was a good thing. So I got these free tickets. There's this new place here in St. Louis that opened up called Activate. And it's this, I don't know, it's like minute to win it in a way, but there's like all these like games, and each room has a theme. Like there's a room where you throw stuff, like baseballs, softballs. And then there's another room where you do like basketball hoops. And then there's another room that just has all these glowing LED buttons all over the room, and you have to press the right button. And each one has multiple games in each room with different things, objectives that you have to do. So one with the baseballs was like there's asteroids on screens and you have to throw the ball and hit the asteroid before it, explodes or whatever, before it gets you. And then game over. So, and then you get points. They've got like a tracker on you, and then you get points. Then there's a leaderboard. There's another one where the whole floor lights up in different colors. And so the one that we played was like, don't step on the red, but then you got to step on the blue. And then, so you got to like hop and jump and skip. And then sometimes they just randomly start changing colors on you and you're like, oh God, I'm on the wrong color. It was way, way fun. Yes, it's a great way to incorporate movement. Oh my gosh. You're in there for an hour and a half and you really do, depending on you, you can really work up a sweat in there. It's a lot of activity in a lot of different ways. There's like a laser beam thing where you got to duck under the laser beam. So my husband's viewpoint on movement is the opposite of mine. His is to move as little as possible. So you take a man out and you're like, hey, let's go to this like place where you're supposed to be active. That's it. He gave it a try though. So I have to celebrate that he even gave it a try, because that was very nice of him to go with me to this place where we're going to go and be the opposite of what his whole goal and outlook on activity is. So I was so excited that he came with me, but it was so much fun. But it's like $25 to go, and I just don't, per person, $25 per person. So I don't know about having $50 all the time to be going to this place, but it would be a fun place to have a birthday party or something like that. I was glad he was a good sport about it too. I really was. So those were my big successes of the week. So write it down in your journal. Write it down. Okay. So many times at the end of the year, I'm going over the end of the year and I'm thinking about what were the highlights of this past year? What were the good moments? What were the whatever? What were things that I didn't necessarily, enjoy? What didn't I like? If it wasn't for journaling, if it wasn't for writing it down, my memory of those things would not be so good. But when I have the journal to go back on, to look at, to just remind me, then it's so helpful. So you can even do that. Okay, so maybe you're a busy person. Maybe you're a busy person, and you don't have time to journal during the week. You just haven't found a way to get it into part of your regular routine, your regular schedule. Maybe your journaling is just one day a week, and you go through and you do the highlights of the week. I'm looking for, I don't know, it used to be here on my bookshelf. I don't know where it is. I have this little journal, and it's a 1 line a day. You've got like 3 lines of text, and then for each day, and then you just put down a line. Even that is, and its most smallest bit, it also is beneficial. But let's talk about those benefits, because I'm getting ahead of myself and trying to get you to start journaling before I even talk about the benefits of it. And that's just, well, that's not going to be any helpful. So again, in this book, let's go back, and it's Allison Fallon, because I'm so terrible and I always forget these things. Allison Fallon's book, The Power of Writing It Down. Okay. The number one reason you want to write stuff down is because it increases your chance of success. Now, if that's not enough reason to write stuff down, it makes your dreams, dreams more tangible. Like you can get them. Whenever I started with the No BS weight loss system program, whatever, the whole thing was just, at the beginning of the day, you write down your 24-hour plan. This is your plan for the next 24 hours. They did not care what you were going to eat, what you were going to drink, what anything about your 24-hour plan. The whole goal was just that you write it down. You just write it down. And once you start writing it down, then you start practicing making that commitment to yourself. And then you practice keeping that commitment to yourself. And you just start slowly building upon these skills. And then you start tweaking things just a little bit here and there. These small incremental steps, tiny little baby things help your dreams to come true, whatever they might be. Whatever they might be. Journaling helps by letting it down. It just gives you a little bit, well, we're going to get into that in a minute, the other things that it does for you. So, the second thing that journaling, writing it down, it helps you to reduce stress. We all have stress. It's not going anywhere, but we can, reduce it. It's a way for us to release what is bothering us. It's a way for us to process things in our head. Talking about my sad journals, all about worry. These are all my problems, but when I get to put them in a journal, sometimes I get to put them in there and leave them there. They're not keeping me from sleeping. They're not ruminating. They're not growing and getting bigger and bigger, like and catastrophizing the whole situation. I sat with it. I wrote it down. Calmed my mind, and just gave myself a little bit of peace. And there we go. So it was helpful to reduce stress, writing it down. A lot of times we don't want to turn to that whenever we're in a stressful situation. I know this from, practice, because it's not a habit. It's not a habit of us. That's not how we've learned to cope with stress. Over the years, we've learned to cope with stress in other ways. So sometimes our go-to, we're going to old habits. But if we turn to journaling and writing it down, we can really see a huge benefit from it. And that's why we want to have the practice all the time, not just when we're stressed out. We want to have it on good days too. So number three, the number three reason why we want to journal or write it down is because it gives us clarity. It gives us clarity. So when we write down things, it just helps you to walk through what your thoughts are. It slows your mind down especially when you're writing with pen to paper. It slows your mind down, and you can work through a lot of different issues that you might be having. Whenever you are typing, whenever you're doing text to speech typing, even that you're going too fast. When you slow it down in your mind, a lot of different questions and thoughts and things come up. You can see a little bit more about your reactions and things like that. I know that there's been a few times where I was, writing about being mad about something, and I was directing my anger towards the wrong people. I was mad at myself, and I was directing my anger towards my husband. I was angry at my husband, and I was directing my anger towards my coworkers. But if it wasn't for sitting down, taking that time to be mindful, that's another one of the benefits. Whenever we sit that down to be mindful and present with our thoughts, we can get that clarity that we need. When you're just, we're rushing. We need to slow down. We spend too much time going to the next thing, moving along. We need to slow down and think about it. Slow down. It is so, through the practice of journaling, I've really learned how often I redirect my anger towards other people that I'm not angry at. And it's a terrible thing that I do. And I'm trying to break that habit. Oh my gosh, I must be a terrible person to live with or around or work with or whatever. If I'm always like angry at something and then, not directing my anger to the right people, that's not cool. That's not nice of me. I should not do that. And, but I can work through it now that I've self-awareness. I tell you guys all the time, self-awareness is key. We need to know ourselves in order to transform. In order to transform, we need to know who we are. And if we're avoiding who we are by not writing things down, how will we ever know? How will we ever know? I mean, there are other ways. No, it's not the only way. Journaling is not the end all be all, but I am telling you that it has changed my life. I'm a full supporter of it, and here's some reasons why. And this girl wrote about it, so it must be true, right? You guys understand my humor there, right? Okay. So another thing that journaling can do is it can transform our thoughts and our behaviors. It has the power to shift how it is that we think and how it is that we act. I'm a hot mess. I remember there was like this time, I'm a hot mess. And then through writing it out, I was like, I'm not a hot mess. I might feel like it in this moment, but I'm really not. I've got control over all of these different issues. I've got this, that, and the other thing. Another one was, I can never stick to a plan. And I just, I'm learning to make good choices. I'm learning to stick to my plan. I'm learning to do this by changing those thoughts, by writing it down. It just reframed my mindset. It helped to just reinforce what I wanted to think versus my habit brain, my go-to thought type thing. So writing can be very transformational. Oh, exercise too. Writing about exercise was huge. And learning that exercise is not a bad word. Oh my gosh. For so long, I hated exercise. I couldn't even call it exercise. And now I can. And now I can. Proudly, excitedly, I exercise. I never would have thought that would be a thing. Never. The whole, last week we were talking about my whole Weight Watchers journey and everything. The whole reason that I was so drawn to Weight Watchers was because at that point in time, exercise was not an important component of Weight Watchers. That was the whole reason I joined there, because I was not an exerciser. And now I am. I am me. And practicing it, being willing to get up and move my body helped, but also by writing it down, by transforming those thoughts through repeatedly telling myself that, look at who you are now. You are a person who enjoys exercise. Craziness, just craziness. Yes, it is. It's all about what works for us. So yes, just because I like this and I talk about it and all these benefits, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But I do encourage you to give it a try, to give it an honest try. Because you never know. Be curious. Be curious. You never know until you try. And that's true about anything. Even foods that I hated as a kid. I'll try them again because I don't know. Your taste buds change over time. I might like it now. Maybe at one point in time I didn't like that, but I didn't like exercise at one point in time, and now I do. There are certain foods I didn't like, and now I do. Maybe journaling could be the same way for you if you're not a journaler. Who knows? You don't know. Be curious. Give it a try. So another one is being vulnerable and honest. Vulnerability and honest makes our writing even better for us. It's hard for us sometimes in our lives to be vulnerable and honest, to express our fears with the people around us. We don't necessarily want to do that, but on paper we can with ourselves. We can. And sometimes we're in a place where we can't even be vulnerable or honest with ourselves. And we have to slowly practice that habit so that we can learn that it's actually safe to do that with ourselves before we can start to express those feelings to others. If you're not even able to express it to yourself, how are you going to be able to express it to others? And being able to express, to have one or two people that you feel close enough to get support from is very important in life. But if you can't even get that from yourself, that's where you need to start. Because the only person in this whole world, the only person that you can rely on is you. And you need to learn how to take care of you. So practice being open and honest with yourself. Be vulnerable with yourself. It's uncomfortable at first. Yeah, everything's uncomfortable at first. But with time, it gets easier and easier and easier. And you can throw it, just rip it up, burn it, whatever. If you're not comfortable with it being on paper, type it out, delete it. You don't have to keep it. Because for a lot of people, that makes them even more uncomfortable. There are ways to journal without having a permanent record of what you wrote down. So, but we do have to. It builds connection, empathy. It's just freeing to let the emotions out of the body. Don't hold them inside. Let them out. Let them out, let them out, let them out. So the final thing here in the whole your guide to journaling is that consistency is key. The more that we do it, that's where the magic really starts to happen. Whenever we do it regularly and we develop this discipline, it helps with our weight loss. It helps with weight loss. It helps with showing up. It helps with goals. The number one thing was it helps with success. So start small. Get one of those. If you don't do it at all, one line a day. Just write something, or write 2 things a day. The worst thing about today was this, and the best thing about today was this. And then you can go to 3 things. And then maybe you can start writing a whole paragraph. Who knows? And then maybe you can start doing, this is my plan for the day at the beginning of the day. And then at the end of the day, you can say how it actually went. Maybe you can start keeping a record of all the books you read, all the TV shows you watch. There's all kinds of things. There's so many different ways that you can journal. And we'll go into that in another episode because there's scrapbook journals and there's bullet journals and there's guided journals and there's journals upon journals upon journals. And you can call them planners if you want to because they come in different names. And anyway, it's all different and all the same at the same time. But to have a daily practice, to have it part of your routine is where it really, all of these things really come to light and become beneficial. Sometimes we have to challenge ourselves whenever it comes to journaling. And this is where I'm going to get into identity and beliefs. I love talking about identity and beliefs. So we might identify as a person who does not journal. Does it have anything to do with your beliefs? Some people refuse to journal because they had a bad experience whenever they were a kid. Somebody broke their trust and looked at their journal. And they won't ever journal again because somebody broke their trust. And now they're never going to reap any of those benefits because somebody broke their trust. So you might believe that somebody's going to find out what you wrote down or use it against you. Challenge those beliefs. Some people like to keep a video journal because they just don't like to write it down. Maybe that's a start. Maybe that's where we go with. Keep a video journal. I don't know, but do you have any limiting beliefs regarding journaling? That's an important thing you're not going to journal about it because you have limiting beliefs, but it's an important question to ask yourself. Do you have any limiting beliefs regarding journaling? What part of your identity is so against it? What part of you is like, even though there's all of these studies, all of these people, all of this stuff that's out there saying there's great benefits in it. There's a why there. There's a why there. I'm not saying you have to change though. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to be curious and ask yourself the questions. All I'm saying. You like who you are, you do you. I like you too. Anyway, so we're going to take a minute and we're going to think about this because I think I skipped over all of the journaling questions for the day. Where did it go? So, oh yeah, we were supposed to do that. Hey, I didn't change that. This was done in a rush, by the way, so ignore my typos if you go and download it. So I want you to journal about a moment of joy. Who were you with? What were you doing? Why were you feeling so joyful? We're going to take a break. You think about your moment of joy, and I'll be back in just a second. Well, it's actually like a minute or so. It's a little bit longer than a second. But you understand.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I let figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, the sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, the sky is falling down.
Even if the sky's falling down, down. Okay, should not sing. Do not sing. Anyway, getting back to it. Don't forget to write about the happy moments. Don't always write about the sad moments. Write about your successes. Successes is a great thing to write about because it just reinforces how awesome and amazing you really, really are. So the next thing we do in the Saturday morning ritual is we make a plan for the week. So what is your plan for the week? Now, if you are going to decide that maybe this week you want to try journaling, don't run out and get anything new or fancy or anything. Just start with what you have. You probably have a notebook somewhere in your house. You probably have some paper somewhere in your house. just start with that. Give it a try there. A lot of times we think that we need to get a new fancy journal and that's going to make it awesome and stick. It's not the new fancy journal because really, honestly, once you open up your journal, most people just leave them open. You never know what's on the cover. You never know what's on the cover. But there are some people that always close their journals. And I'm in, which, okay, everybody out there, let me know. Do you leave your journals closed or do you leave them open? Which one do you do? I always leave it open person. And that is annoying because then your pages get curled. So it's a good reason to always close them. Anyway. But now it is time for a moment of a little bit of, I guess, self-promotion, I guess I'm going to call it. Self-promotion. So if you guys didn't know, I've been crafty lately. I've been making all kinds of stuff. I made these cool things. They're jars. They shine pretty. They look pretty whenever they're shining. I made that, and I made some ornaments, and I made an army of creamer bottles that now looks like Santa Claus and a reindeer and a penguin and some other things. Because I'm gonna do some kind of craft show. My glasses fell down. Always closed. You are always closed. Always open. Always open. Always closed. So this is not a good example, but anyway, if you want to get a fancy journal made by Adventures of Deanna, you can get this cool one. It says Jogaya, joy of going at your own pace. Jogaya. Ah, see, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So really, this is the recycled journal, and all I did was make the cover. And inside, look at this, fancy lined pages. So fancy. They were already there. I didn't have to put those lines on it or anything. It was like that. There's something else under this cover, just so you let you know. I redid it. But if you want to support me and keep the Saturday morning ritual going, you can get this fancy journal or a hand-painted one over on, you go to Buy Me a Coffee. So there will be a link in the description. If you go to my website, just look for the Buy Me a Coffee link. I'll also put it in the description of this video sometime today, maybe. And you can get yourself a journal and I'll mail it personally to you. Wow, how cool is that? You can journal in a journal that was touched by me, made by me, or repurposed by me. And I would really, 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 truly think that was so freaking amazing. And if you want, I'll put a note in there to you. Just let me know and I'll handwrite you a note because I love you. I love you for watching the Saturday morning ritual and I love you for supporting me. So yeah, I would love to write you a note. Anyway, that is my little self-promotion there. You got to make a plan for the week. What's the plan? Are you going to do any journaling? What else are you going to do this week in order to, what are your goals? What are you going to do in pursuit of those goals? That's the most important thing that we're planning this week. What are we going to do in pursuit of our goals? First of all, if you don't know what your goals are, you need to figure it out and write those down. The next step after that is, what do you do to reach your goals? What are the little things that add up day by day, week by week, month to month that will help get you to your goals? What are you going to do to be in pursuit of those goals? That's the plan. That's what we're going to write down. So, why, thank you. It was done by me because I'm so creative and fancy. I'm just Deanna. That's it. That I'm just being the best me that I can possibly be. Anyway, No, seriously, like there's these things laying around, and they're going to be laying around for years and years and years. So I thought, why not repurpose them? And if I could make $1, well, that'd be like way cool too. So we're gonna give it a try. We're gonna see if I can make $1. So, or 5 or 10. Anyway, we'll see. I'm curious, always curious. That's the fun of my adventure of life. Oh, I love it. So those were 7 life-changing lessons from the power of writing it down from that Allison Fallon. So if you want to read a book, you can get The Power of Writing It Down by Allison, whatever I just said, because why can't I remember her last name? Anyway, hopefully, if you're writing stuff down, it's going to fill you with clarity, peace, purpose, whatever, joy, who knows. Write down one goal, one thought, one fear. Let it be, as messy as the Saturday morning ritual is. I love messy food. I love messy things. I love messy activities. So why wouldn't I always just let things be messy? Because I love everything that's messy. So it's cool. Okay. Seriously. Thank you so much for spinning your set. Oh, wait, anyway, we're not going to do it. I'm skipping it. Journal by yourselves, because really, just journal by yourselves. The next journal prompt question, which is, which benefit would you like to have? Greater success, less stress, clarity, mindfulness, transformation, or just more honesty? Which one of those benefits that you can get from journaling would you like to have, and why does it appeal to you? Shower thoughts. If you don't want to journal, shower thoughts. Think about it in the shower. It's a great place to be one with your thoughts, to be mindful and present with your thoughts is in the shower. So I don't know why. Anyway, thank you again for joining me on this Saturday morning ritual. I appreciate you so, so very much. I will see you guys in the next video. As always, it's going to be an adventure. Bye. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you. Oh, now I'm supposed to play the video, not just sit here and hum to myself. I'm supposed to play the video. My way, my way, my way. I find my way. Yes, it all.